Hi, my name is Francisca Oseghale. I'm a PhD student at Baylor University, and I'm going to be presenting my paper on silicon carbide four-leg inverter for common mode and EMI mitigation in advanced motor drive system. Listed below are the authors. Wide bandgap inverters such as silicon carbide and gallium nitride inverters allow for faster switching, which can then be used to enable high power density motor drives. However, due to their fast switching capabilities, there is an increase in electromagnetic interference and electric discharge machine bearing current, which impacts the performance, health, and lifetime of motors. The mitigation strategy we've taken is a silicon carbide four-leg inverter variable frequency drive with a novel common mode elimination control method and a differential mode filter. Having the differential mode filter also allows the fourth leg to be connected to it rather than the motor neutral, which is not typically accessible. The novel control method used is sigma-delta modulation, which is a pulse density modulation strategy. It utilizes the 6 of the 16 switching states enabled by the fourth leg. The 6 states ideally produce zero common mode voltage. The logic uses the error of the comparison of the reference voltage and the reference voltages from the output of the inverter to generate the appropriate switching states to ensure that there are 2 top switches on and bottom switches switched off. In order to show the efficacy of the proposed silicon carbide topology, the four-leg inverter system was modeled in a Typhoon Hill environment. The results show the expected phase voltages and load currents. Also shown are the current and voltage conducted emission limits being met without large common mode chokes. The CE limits are set by the military standard MIL standard 461G for high power density motor drives for shipboard applications. We then constructed an experimental testbed driving a 5 horsepower motor. The results show the appropriate phase voltages and load currents. The inverters were run with a 2 microsecond dead time, which does affect the common mode voltage elimination process, which is reflected by the fourth leg current. The inverters were still able to meet the CE 101 and CE 102 limits as shown below. We also ran the silicon carbide inverters in a typical 3-leg VFD with a 2 microsecond dead time and no differential mode filter. As seen, the voltage CE limit is greatly exceeded. Even with the differential mode filter implemented and grounded, the voltage CE limit is still exceeded. As mentioned, the common mode voltage produced by the switching of the inverters results in high frequency EDM, which strongly contributes to bearing degradation and motor failure. In contrast to the silicon carbide 3-leg shown on the left, the silicon carbide 4-leg shown on the right results in minimal shaft voltages of only about 2.5 volts that do not exceed the dielectric strength of the bearing grease and thus results in zero bearing current. Thank you for your time.